In May 2026, Charles Leclerc stood at a shipyard in La Spezia, Italy, and watched a 30-meter Italian superyacht named Sedici enter the water for the first time. The 20th hull of the Riva 102 Corsaro Super. His third Riva, a vessel reportedly worth between $19 and $22 million that he had spent months personally customizing down to the door handles. From the apartment minutes from the most famous circuit on Earth, to the Ferrari threading through streets barely wide enough to fit it, to a superyacht that carries his race number in its name, and his taste in every surface inside it. This is the real Monaco lifestyle of Charles Leclerc. Born to Monaco, to understand what this lifestyle means to Charles Leclerc, you have to understand one thing first. He did not move to Monaco because it was tax efficient. He was born there. His father, Hervé, was a racing driver. Not Formula One, but serious competitive motorsport. Racing was not something the Leclerc family watched on television. It was what they did, which meant the Formula One circuit that winds through Monaco's streets was never some distant glamorous thing. It was the road outside. Every May the barriers went up on corners Charles walked to school. The grandstands appeared on streets he already knew by heart. His godfather was Jules Bianchi, one of the most gifted drivers of his generation and widely considered a future Formula One champion. In 2014, Bianchi crashed at the Japanese Grand Prix. He died from his injuries the following year. Charles was 17 years old. 2 years later, while racing in Formula 2 and on the verge of his Formula 1 debut, his father Hervé also died. Charles was 19. The two people who had shaped everything about his path to the sport were gone before he ever reached it. Everything Leclerc has built since, the career, the contracts, the lifestyle, carries both of them in it. That is not a detail you can separate from the story. It is the story. The Ferrari contract and what it pays in 2025. Charles Leclerc signed a new 5-year Ferrari contract that included a $16 million signing bonus and an annual base salary of $34 million. The deal runs through the 2029 season. He is the third highest paid driver on the Formula One grid behind Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. But the base salary is only part of the picture. Performance bonuses for race wins, podiums, and championship standings can push his total Ferrari compensation considerably higher in a competitive season. Forbes estimated his total annual earnings at approximately $30 million in 2025. Other sources place the full package, including bonuses and endorsements, between $50 and $70 million annually. The endorsement roster reflects both his commercial value and his personal interests. Richard Mille, the Swiss watchmaker whose timepieces represent some of the most technically complex horological engineering in the world, has been the most lucrative personal sponsor, with elite driver ambassador deals in the category estimated at $5 to $10 million annually. Giorgio Armani, Ray-Ban, Puma, Bang & Olufsen, and EA Sports complete a roster that positions Leclerc at the intersection of high-performance sport and European luxury culture. Riva, the Italian shipyard, is also an official partner of the Ferrari Formula One team. The brand's logo appears on Leclerc's helmet and race car, which makes the purchase of Sedici something more than a private transaction between a wealthy athlete and a luxury manufacturer. It is the natural extension of a relationship that already existed on both sides. The yacht Sedici, in May 2026, Riva announced the launch of the 20th hull of its 102 Corsaro Super Series. The vessel was named Sedici, Italian for 16, the number Leclerc has carried on his Ferrari since his debut, and the name he has given to each successive yacht in his collection. The Sedici is 30.2 meters long and nearly 7 meters in beam. At that size, it enters what the industry formally classifies as super yacht territory. Industry estimates for the fully customized version place the final price between $18 and $22 million, with Leclerc's personal involvement in the specification process understood to have pushed the cost toward the upper end of that range. The specification of the yacht reflects the same philosophy Leclerc applies to everything associated with his name. It is not generically luxurious. It is specifically considered. The exterior furniture on the flybridge was handpicked by Leclerc from Italian luxury brand Minotti. The cushions are by Jim Thompson, the Thai silk specialist. The flybridge itself is built around entertaining, with a custom bar unit, an oversized grill, an induction hob, 2 refrigerators, and an ice maker arranged across an open-air space designed for Mediterranean evenings rather than passage-making. Below on the main deck, the beach club spreads across 35 square meters at the stern, with an inflatable platform that extends directly off the back of the boat for water toys and swimming. The beach club area is where the distance between a day on a superyacht and a day on a Mediterranean beach effectively disappears. The interior was personalized to a level of detail that distinguishes an owner who designed the space from one who simply wrote a check for it. Furniture and furnishings throughout are by Poliform. Tableware is by Christofel. Bed linens, bath towels, duvets, and mattress toppers are by Fret. The main salon and master suite carry Bang & Olufsen audio-visual systems configured specifically for each space, rather than installed from a standard package. The stone selection in the master bathroom is the detail that reveals the level of attention applied to every decision. Polished Calicata Vaglioro, marble in the owner's suite bathroom. Corian Calicata Greg throughout the remaining bathrooms and surfaces, maintaining color continuity across the entire vessel. Leclerc personally selected the door handles. The door handles. Propulsion comes from twin MTU 16V 2000M 96 LEPA Tier 3 engines. Comfortable cruising at 24 knots. Top speed of 28 knots. For a vessel of this size and weight, those numbers are quick. The yacht is also fitted with HydroTab Interceptor trim tabs and state-of-the-art stabilization systems. The Sedici is the third Riva Leclerc has owned. He previously had the Riva 48 Dolce Riva Monza and the Riva 82 Diva, also named Sedici before it was renamed LA's Blue after changing hands. Each upgrade has been larger, more expensive, and more deeply personalized. The Sedici 102 represents the point at which casual yacht ownership transitions into something that looks considerably more like a considered collection. The Monaco apartment A&D daily life. Charles Leclerc lives in Monaco in an apartment minutes from the circuit he races through every May. He is among the more private Formula One drivers when it comes to personal space. Most athletes in his position monetize every corner of their homes through social media. Leclerc keeps the specifics quiet. What glimpses exist suggest exactly what the Monaco geography implies. Clean lines. Modern interiors. A building that sits within the Principality's 2 square kilometers where everyone occupies the same streets, restaurants, and social geography every single day. For most of the 38,000 Monaco residents, that proximity is simply how life works. For Charles Leclerc, it carries a specific weight. The Monaco Grand Prix circuit is not something that appears in his neighborhood once a year. His neighborhood becomes the circuit once a year. Every corner on that track has a name in his memory that predates any lap time. During Grand Prix week, he can hear the support races from inside the apartment. Formula 3 engines echoing off the buildings. Crowd noise building through the weekend. Every other driver on the grid hears that sound and thinks about work. Leclerc hears it, and it sounds like home. His social circle reflects the nature of Monaco itself. Carlos Sainz lives in the Principality. Pierre Gasly, a friend from junior racing, is also resident there. These are not professional relationships maintained out of convenience. They are friendships built over years of shared experience in a sport that demands everything from everyone inside it. Monaco's scale makes those friendships a daily reality rather than a scheduled call. In 2026, at the Monaco Grand Prix civil ceremony, Charles married Alexandra Saint-Leu, his long-term partner. The wedding happened in the place where Leclerc has always lived. Surrounded by the people who have always been there, in the week his home becomes a Formula One circuit. The cars and the watches. Ferrari does not simply employ Charles Leclerc. Ferrari considers him central to the future identity of the brand. That relationship extends naturally beyond the circuit. In Monaco, a performance car is its own specific experience. The streets are genuinely narrow. The traffic is real. The gap between the car beside you and a barrier above the harbor is frequently a matter of centimeters. Navigating that in a Ferrari road car, as Leclerc has been documented doing on multiple occasions, is less a flex than a statement about what normal looks like when you grew up in a place this specific. His car collection has been reported to include a Ferrari SF90 Stradale, a Ferrari 812 Superfast, and a McLaren P1, among other high-performance machinery. The collection reflects the professional relationship with Ferrari alongside a broader interest in engineering at the extreme end of what road cars can do. The Richard Mille partnership tells the same story. Richard Mille timepieces are not fashion objects, they are engineering achievements that happen to sit on a wrist. Carbon cases, tourbillon movements, tolerances measured in fractions of a millimeter. For someone whose professional life is built entirely around the relationship between human skill and mechanical precision, the connection is not a sponsorship in the conventional sense. It is a shared philosophy about what objects should do and how precisely they should do it. Beyond Richard Mille, Leclerc's personal projects reveal something about where his interests extend outside of Formula One. He plays piano seriously and has released his own music. He co-founded LEC, an ice cream company, in partnership with Federico Grom and Guido Martinetti of the Italian gelato chain GROM. He launched CL Karting in association with Birel ART. He released a clothing line, CL16, in late 2025. These are not celebrity vanity projects assembled by a management team. They are the natural extensions of someone with genuine creative and entrepreneurial instincts operating in a lifestyle that provides both the resources and the platform to pursue them. The Monaco Grand Prix. Every May something happens to Charles Leclerc's home that happens to no other Formula One driver's home anywhere on Earth. The barriers go up on his streets. The grandstands appear on his corners. 78,000 people arrive at the place where he grew up. And then he has to get in a car and race through all of it at 300 kilometers per hour in front of everyone who has ever known him. If that sounds like pressure, it is, but it is also something more specific than pressure. The Monaco Grand Prix is the race Hervé Leclerc drove Charles to watch as a child. It is the race Jules Bianchi dreamed of winning and never got the chance to. Every other driver on that grid wants to win Monaco. For Leclerc, Monaco is something that cannot be translated into wanting. It is deeper than that. He has led the Monaco Grand Prix. Strategy calls that became some of the most analyzed decisions in recent Formula One history cost him victories that should have been his. If those decisions had gone differently, the story of Leclerc and Monaco would already have its ending. But they did not go differently, and the story is still being written. What is not still being written is what the race means to him on a level that has nothing to do with points or championships. Every other driver arrives in Monaco for race week and checks into a hotel. Leclerc wakes up in his own apartment, makes coffee in his kitchen, steps outside onto streets where barriers have appeared again on corners he has known his entire life. Then, he goes to work. That is what it means to be Charles Leclerc in Monaco. And no amount of money, no super yacht, no Ferrari, no watch collection changes what that actually is. A $34 million annual salary. A $22 million super yacht named after his race number. A bedroom window that looks out over the most famous racing circuit in the world. Charles Leclerc did not choose Monaco. Monaco chose him first. Subscribe for more.